Breaking news, the Pelicans have fired Executive Vice President David Griffin after 6 years with his team. This tenure was marked by Anthony Davis' trade to L.A. and drafting Zion Williamson #1 overall. The team went 209 and 264 with 2 postseason appearances under his leadership. Meanwhile, after the 76ers concluded their disastrous injury-riddled season with a 122-102 loss to the Chicago Bulls on Sunday, President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey said he and Nick Nurse would be back next season and, quote, assess everything to avoid it happening again. Okay, Marcus, here's what I want to know. Bigger deal, Griffin gone or Morey and Nurse returning?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick to my Morey breakdown, right? A guy from Philadelphia. Basketball and sports means a lot. Daryl Morey needs to deliver, right? He's been switching the teams in and out. He's trading guys and he's reorganizing the team, right? Do you understand how great of a city Philadelphia can be when their basketball team is doing well? I grew up in the inner city of Philadelphia. It changes the landscape of the city, right? This is about Philadelphia basketball. You've changed the team multiple times. You've got superstar. You've had Embiid there for a while. Maxi's playing at an all-time high. You went and got Paul George, right? You have to identify the guys that wants to be in Philadelphia that can play for the city. Injuries doesn't matter all the time. You still have to have guys that can fight. It's time to stop the musical chairs madness. Philadelphia needs their team to be better. The city needs their team to be better, and Philadelphia is a better place when the Sixers are winning. A guy that's from Philadelphia, Daryl, you're on the hot seat, man. We need you to deliver a good, forget good. We need a great NBA team in Philadelphia.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Stephen A., you know, Zion ain't done yet. Alvin Gentry, Stan Van Gundy, not David Griffin. He ain't done yet. Y'all think he done? He's not done. He's doing some of his best work off the court. Until he gets on the court and can consistently play, this is what's going to happen. I'm glad Willie Green got a job, but I'm not surprised that this has happened. I'm shocked Daryl Morey's keeping his job. After he gave out all those big contracts, he gave Joel Embiid 3 years, $193 million, Stephen A., when he had still 2 years left. With his injury history, he gave Paul George 5 years, $200+ million. He signed Tyrese Maxey, and I got no problem with Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is a budgeting superstar in this league. But for Daryl Morey to still have his job, sure. Nick Nurse can't do anything. He can't do anything about the injury. But Daryl Morey is the guy that brought all these guys in, gave them all these big time shots. Daryl Morey still has a job, Stephen A.
It's a trifecta. All three of us on the same page. The biggest thing, the bigger deal here was retained. David Griffin, I feel bad for him because Zion's only played 30 games this year. He's been a huge disappointment because of his lack of availability. That's the bottom line. And even when he's been on the court, he's had such a debilitating impact on the franchise because he's not consistently available that it's just squashed any kind of hopes that they had. And so to me, getting rid of Griffin means Willie Green will inevitably be gone because the successor to David Griffin is going to want his own coach, not the coach that David Griffin brought in. So I think that Willie Green's days are going to be numbered, and it's unfortunate because I think it would have been different if Zion had been more reliable. Having said that, Morey, and it's hard for me to say because I like him personally, it's a travesty. Nick Nurse is not the issue. That man can coach. Give him something to work with. With the decisions that Daryl Morey has made, there is no excuse for him being retained. That is the bottom line. I would tell him that to his face. Yep. And the bottom line is also that, you know what? He shouldn't have been there to begin with because Elton Brand could have handled that job. He should have never been reassigned or repositioned to avoided
the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you secure your spot avoiding the team that is #1 in defense in the NBA, top 3 in offense, and the likely MVP in SGA. And your matchup could be the Houston Rockets, who I just heard you guys talk about before. While they've had a spectacular season, I have been upfront and personal with this team back home in Houston. They do have lulls offensively. They're like 22nd or 21st when it comes to three-point makes and three-point shooting percentage. They need, as you guys mentioned, a go-to player. Drawing the Rockets might actually be the favorable path for the Golden State Warriors. But yes, health comes first. But this might be a situation where they won the war even though they lost the final game of the regular season.
If health comes first, I don't see how you can say that. That's all. I get where you're coming from and where your breakdown totally from a basketball perspective. It all goes out the window if they're not healthy.
All right.
It don't matter. When you see OKC, you have to see us sooner or later. You say, well, we get to Houston, but if you beat Houston, you're going to have to see us sooner or later, Chanae. It doesn't matter today, tomorrow, next week. What's in front of you is a butt cutting. So it don't matter when it happens. Just know you're going to get tore up.
One win. That's it. One win. That's their goal.
Yeah. Let's get to
which they've never gotten in the play-in.
And that would be the WNBA draft. Projected #1 pick, Paige Beckers, is signing a 3-year deal with the 3-on-3 league Unrivaled. Last year, Beckers signed an NIL deal with Unrivaled, which gave her equity in the league, but she didn't play in Unrivaled while finishing her college career. Her first-year salary for the 10-week Unrivaled season will exceed what she would make in 4 years of her W rookie contract. My goodness, Janae. How does Paige's Unrivaled deal impact the WNBA?
First of all, the W is getting another W, another win. They're getting another superstar player with championship pedigree, literally coming off of a championship. Only in the WNBA will a week ago you play in the national championship, and then a week later you are now getting drafted #1, and then you're going to go to another city in another month. You're playing games. It's wild, but kudos to all these amazing players. Paige Beckers, household name, millions of followers on social media. The W is winning. It's healthy, thriving, striving forward. I love this. A lot of comparisons have been made when it comes to salary, whether it is the NBA or even now Unrivaled. But what I will say when it comes to Unrivaled, everyone is taking note. The average player salary being $200,000 for, as you mentioned, Molly, a 10-week season. That is a standard. I think what you can see is an incubator of such. Unrivaled being a league, this is its first season where you find businesses and you find brands that can supplement what this moment potentially can be for women's basketball players, and it amounted in $27 million in revenue, a strong first year. So the fact that Paige Beckers can not only debut in the W in a month or so, but most importantly, stay home and make good money, it shows you that the pathways for women's basketball is on the rise.
Well, I think that you're absolutely 100% correct with what you said, Janae, but there's so much to add to that. You got to give major props to Paige Beckers because, not to say that you didn't, of course you did, but I'm just saying her business acumen, investing in Unrivaled before she arrives there with an NIL deal, having equity in the league, that's a big deal. So then all of a sudden, her salary, projected salary for this upcoming season is a little over $78,000 in year one. You just talked about the average being over $200,000, you know, for folks that are entering Unrivaled. We got that part. We're looking at the WNBA. Who's going to be the highest paid player in the WNBA this year? I believe it is Kelsey Mitchell for Indiana, $249,000. It's the highest, okay? So when you talk about Unrivaled coming along, I mean, this is a very big deal. So I'm just looking at it to that standpoint. Then I'm looking at it from the history of the WNBA. Only 18 players have topped $1 million in career earnings on the court, topped by Skylar Diggins-Smith at $1.56 million. That's what my...
Các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Lại là mình đây. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để cho các bạn cùng xem. Và ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu những sản phẩm, đó là những con vật, đó là những đồ vật, hoa quả, vân vân. Để làm được video tô màu thì mình sẽ chuẩn bị những dụng cụ, đó là đầu tiên là điện thoại này. Điện thoại để quay lại quá trình mình làm này.